to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your performance?
Yeah, sure. My name's Andy, Andy Field, and I made a piece that was called, it's got quite a long title, it's called I Would Like to Talk to the Capitalists About Money, but They Only Want to Tell Me Love Stories, brackets, a love story. I suppose the thing for me was wanting to that was a quote that I found from someone, and I thought it stuck with me, and it kind of like, I just kept turning it over in my head. I wanted to do something that was responding to that quote, that challenge. And I, in the end, came to the idea that it would be much easier for me to make a piece which is exploring our understanding of love than it would be our understanding of capitalism. And so I suppose the piece itself was just a little experiment in what we think of love being, and the way that love is sort of explained to us or dictated to us by film and music and all the other kind of things that constantly surround us, and also perhaps a kind of tilting towards the possibility of what else it might be, a more sort of expansive notion of what love constitutes.
Under his helmet, we can only see his eyes, and his eyes look beyond us towards some unseen target over our shoulder. But neither he or the men behind him are what we are looking at. We are looking at the couple in the space between them. They are lying in the middle of the road, her tiny shorts riding up her thigh, his naked arm beneath the short sleeve of his t-shirt, and they hold each other like lost matinee idols. And as they kiss, everything else melts into soft focus.
And what did you want the audience to take away from the piece?
Well, there's a section at the beginning that says, I want this to be like a dream. And that's really important, because for me, there's a thing that Freud said about the idea that dreaming is a way of thinking by doing, right? In a dream, you're running, you're jumping, you're running away from someone, you're falling in love with someone, and you're not actually physically doing those things. They're all happening in your head. This is the way of thinking through doing, and I think of performance in the same way, that performance is an opportunity for us to think with our bodies rather than with our minds. And so what I wanted to do was create a scenario in which people would be thinking through their interaction with somebody else. The actual tension generated between those two people would become a form of thinking, of exploration. So I just wanted people to have the opportunity to sit facing a stranger and imagining all the possible relationships that they might have, and thinking about how that becomes a reflection of what they think of as the limits of love, or the limits of our capacity to love, basically.
There was subtle uses of humour within the piece, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Was that important to you?
Yeah, because I think like otherwise it just gets all so far up its own arse. You know what I mean? Like I think that it's really important to. Like I really like the idea that you can try and transport people, that you can be evocative, and I'm aware that my own style of writing is possibly overly romantic, and it's this kind of very like rich prose which has a simile every 5 minutes, right, or less, every 30 seconds. But I think it's important to let people know that you're not taking any of this too seriously, that we are, at the end of the day, simply a group of people in a room experimenting with each other.
And finally, what do you think of BUZZCUT as a festival, as a whole so far?
Oh, it's great fun, you know. I mean, I think that Nick and Rosanna are wonderful hosts, and I think that there's a really vital sense of community, you know, a sense in which it feels like it's a moment for a community to come together and think about itself and celebrate itself and maybe challenge itself to be more than it has previously been. And I think that's good. And it's good fun. It's got a sense of humour, and it's not afraid of a bit of posturing, which I think is important for manifesting.
That's great. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem. Thank you.